Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel Midluxemuse. My name is Taylor, and of course, if you're new here, welcome. And if you're not new here, welcome back. I love to talk about really anything that has to do with handbags. So if you like handbags, if you like mid-luxury, regular, degular handbags that you can get anywhere, contemporary brands, indie brands, all kinds of mid-range handbags, you're in the right place here. Please consider liking and subscribing to my channel if you're interested in this type of content. It does help a lot, and I am always grateful when I get comments and can kind of talk back and forth with you in the comments about various different bags and brands. That's always fun for me. So please consider liking and subscribing, and I would be grateful. All right, today I wanted to talk about a topic that has been on my mind for just a little while now. And the question that I have is Dooney and Bourke the new it brand? Is the Dooney and Bourke Florentine bag the new it bag of 2026? Let's discuss this because I have thoughts. I don't know if it's just me or if everybody else has been noticing this as well, but I use TikTok as a kind of means to look at other bags, view bag trends and things of that nature. And so while I don't post on TikTok, I do go on there and I do search for bag ideas, and occasionally I'll get pop-ups of different bag brands that kind of come across my feed. And I have been noticing a lot lately of Dooney and Bourke, not just on TikTok, but here on YouTube as well, in shorts and in videos. I've been getting a lot of it recommended to me, and not just old videos, but new videos too. So within recent weeks and months, a lot of people have been doing videos about Dooney and Bourke. It seems like, to me, like there has been a Dooney and Bourke explosion, similar to what we saw with Coach very recently. Now, do I think it's as big of an explosion yet as Coach had? No, I don't think so. And I think there's a few reasons for that. I think that Coach and Dooney are both two very, very different brands, but it is kind of interesting to see the explosion, I guess, or the way that Dooney is kind of popping up in popularity right now. I personally think that the Dooney and Bourke Florentine satchel in particular is going to be a it bag of 2026. Do I think it's going to be the biggest and the most popular thing? No, probably not. But I do think it's gaining traction and gaining popularity, and I think it is going to be a it bag for 2026, and let me tell you why I think so. Now, as you guys may have known already, I already did a video talking about my Dooney and Bourke Luca satchel. So the Luca satchel is very similar to the Florentine satchel, but it looks like this. It's the same shape, same silhouette, same style, everything's the same. The differences are the lining on the inside is a white canvas cotton lining. It's not that red cotton lining, and it doesn't have the green suede here on the inside of the top. The zipper area is more of a beige color on this particular bag. It is a pebbled leather, so it's called the Luca bag because it has Luca leather. So I already did a review on this bag. I won't get too much into it. There are differences, but this is pretty much what the Florentine satchel looks like. So I've already kind of dived in to Dooney and Bourke, and I get it. I get the love. I understand why people love it. I get why people are really digging it right now. Now, I got some comments on my last video. One of them said, "This is tacky. That looks like a Sears bag. I don't like it. It looks cheap." Listen, I love it, and that's all that matters. That's all that matters, is that I love it personally because I spent my money on it. And number two, I don't just love it, other people do too. And that's why I'm making this video, because I think it's trending and I've been seeing it everywhere. I wouldn't have gone looking for this bag if I hadn't also been seeing it on the internet. Alyssa from The Gal's Guide just did a video about it. I already talked about this, but Julie from Agent Bag Reviews has reviewed many Dooney and Bourke Florentine satchels. They're popular, they're gaining traction. So I wanted to talk a little bit today about why I think that is. Especially because there are some pretty big differences between Dooney and Coach. So I'll get into the differences first, and then we'll talk about why I think they are trending right now. So Dooney and Bourke was established in 1975 by Peter Dooney and Frederick Dirk. So they're the ones who started this brand. It initially was just meant to be a men's line of suspenders and belts, but like Coach, they kind of changed what they were doing and started making women's handbags in 1981. So they kind of switched tunes. In 1981, they also came out with the all-weather line. So it was kind of a new way to make leather or produced leather that was called all-weather leather, and it was able to withstand cold, heat, rain, sleet, snow, all the elements, which if you're a leather lover, that's a huge deal, because if you bring your bag out in the snow, especially where I live in the Midwest, it gets cold here. It rains a lot. There's a lot of snow. If you put your bag on the ground on accident or if it falls in the snow, that's not good. So to have an all-weather leather is a big deal, in my opinion. I think that's a great thing to invent, right? So they kind of gained some popularity, and they were really popular in the early 2000s, along with Coach. The difference, though, now, I would say what differentiates Dooney and Bourke from Coach right now is that Coach is, they have had a lot of different creative directors through the years. So Coach has really done a lot of different things. So, I mean, they have their kind of first heritage line of bags that were, those unlined bags, the court bag, all of those types of styles with the turn lock, those types of vintage Coach that you see now. And then in the early 2000s, of course, they had other bags. They had the Bonnie Cashin era. They've had a lot of different styles, right? And over the years, they have created more. They had their circa 2000s era bags with the Coach Soho flap and, the different patchwork, embossed, embroidered, different kinds of bags. You know what I'm talking about. I'll pop up a picture here of kind of what I mean. And then Coach kind of disappeared after that. They kind of really went down, lost popularity, and now they've made a comeback, right? They've got different creative directors. They've kind of been through different ones, and now they have all kinds of different styles, right? They have the Brooklyn, they have the Empire. Those were all, these are all kind of newer styles, newer bags. So they're a lot has changed, right? Coach has done a lot of different things over the years. And I think that sets them apart from Dooney and Bourke, because Dooney and Bourke has really just stayed the same. They've had a lot of the same styles. I think they've come out with some new sort of iterations of same styles and things like that. But for the most part, the Florentine satchel was one that was really popular for them. They've had a lot of the same. And Peter Dooney is actually the same chief designer. He's still the CEO. He's still the chief designer for the company. He's still running the show right behind the scenes. This is his company. So I think in that regard, not a lot has changed with Dooney and Bourke. They're kind of consistent in that way. And I think that's a good and a bad thing. I think it's a good thing because he didn't just sell out his company and let whoever wants to run it and have full reign. He's kind of taken control of it in that way. It sounds more like it's his baby, I guess. So not much has changed, right? That can be a good thing and that can be a bad thing, right? I think in recent years and within the last 10 years or so, I think Dooney and Bourke has not been as popular in general. I haven't seen it a lot. Granted, I live in the Midwest, but they're still a semi-affordable brand, so I would think I would see them more, but I really have not. So I think they haven't been as popular. And because of that, I think it can harm a brand a little bit, but we're seeing a comeback now of Dooney and Bourke, and I'm going to talk about now why I think that is. The first reason why I think Dooney and Bourke is making a comeback is because, well, we're seeing a cycling of the fashion trends. One of those being the cycling of the Y2K era, right? So Dooney and Bourke and Coach were both very popular in the early 2000s, right? And so a lot of brands, a lot of styles that were popular during that time have now come back, right? The baggy pants are back in, big oversized clothing is in, that kind of stuff. I won't get into the fashion too much because I don't know as much about that. But as far as bags go, you're seeing a lot of Coach Soho flat bags. You're seeing a lot of the vintage Coach bags coming back that are now considered vintage from 20 years ago, right? 2005, that kind of era. You're seeing a lot of just Chloe, like for instance, Chloe Paddington. That bag has come back. They're making remakes of that. The Fendi baguette bag, that's another bag that was popular in the early 2000s. That's back again. So we're seeing a lot of this. So it's not surprising that Dooney would be making a comeback as well because they were part of that era. But I think there are other factors too on why Dooney's also making a comeback. And I think reason number 2 why I think they are is because, well, they're affordable. I don't think I have spotted a bag on their website that was over $500. I know there was a Henry's line I was looking at. They have beautiful bags. I don't know too much about this particular style. It sounds like almost a collaboration that they did. I need to do more research on this, and maybe I'll make another video on this another time. But there's a Henry's line of bag at Dooney and Bourke, and the leather looks a little bit different. It looks a little more luxe, I would say, for a mid-tier brand. And that one is running $400 and some for those bags. So none of their bags, I don't think, are over $500 that I've seen. So for that regard, their bags are very affordable. My Luca Satchel, a full leather bag with cotton canvas inside, ran me about $240, which is, in the handbag world, it's a lot of money. It is a lot of money. I'm not going to say it's not. But in the handbag world, it's very affordable. I didn't think I would really see that much again. Of course, I'm always looking at handbags online, and I just didn't expect to see that again. So to find a bag in the $200 range is incredible to me. I know their Florentine line, which is kind of what this video is about, runs in the $300 to $400 range. Incredible, incredible quality, incredible price for what you're getting. And I think that's part of it. Now, our economy, as we all know, and I think in the handbag community, I think even the people that are doing kind of well are still feeling inflation in terms of grocery prices. If you live somewhere with a high cost of living, your mortgage might have increased. Rent has certainly increased a lot of places. Just the cost of living in general. I don't think anyone is immune from that. And certainly, I just think the economy in general has really affected things. So that being said, I do think that people in general, in my opinion, I think people in general, myself certainly included, are looking for bags that are more affordable. I just think that the price of Dooney and Bourke is really good. I think that has definitely led people to be looking at them more and repurchasing them. It is, since it's a repeating trend in a way, it is very nostalgic for a lot of people. So whether you were somebody who grew up in the era where Dooney was popular, or whether you were somebody who knew somebody who carried Dooney, whether it be your mom, your sister, your aunt, your family, your grandma, maybe even, it might be nostalgic for you in that way. So I think that's another reason why they're kind of making a comeback. Not only that, but I think, as we've seen with a lot of different brands, another point I wanted to make is that with a lot of other brands, we are seeing prices increasing, and we are also seeing quality decreasing. So I know nobody's immune from this. Certainly you can go to Target and find a bag and it might fall apart. You know, it probably will fall apart. That's just the way it goes, right? If it's not leather, it's probably a PU type of material. It's probably not going to withstand a lot of time. You can spend money on a Coach bag. I've been seeing, and I'm not dogging on Coach, okay? I'm not. I still love Coach. I have owned many Coach bags, and I still do love Coach. I'm still looking at Coach. But I have had issues personally with the quality of some Coach bags, with the stitching coming apart and things like that. And I've seen other people have issues with Coach bags, whether that be the leather itself or the stitching or something just not being completely right on the bag. And so, yeah, I don't think any brand is immune from that. Certainly Louis Vuitton. I've even seen Hermes. I've seen a couple, I'm on the subreddit for Hermes, and I've seen a couple people post some pretty bad Hermes quality defects. There was one where the feet weren't placed on the bag. I think she had a Kelly. The feet weren't placed properly in line, so they were off kilter. So when she set her bag down, one of the feet was up off the surface. So, and her bag kind of was wobbly. And it was pretty bad. It was a pretty big difference and pretty noticeable for her. I've seen another one where somebody had only owned a Birkin, or I think it was a Birkin, for about less than a year. And the handle, it was like it was PU leather, but she said she bought it in store at Hermes. And it looked like it was PU leather because the leather or the coating was completely flaking off, had worn off about maybe this much on her bag. And it looked bad. It was peeling pretty significantly. So all this to say, I am not dogging on any luxury brand, mid-luxury brand, contemporary brand. No, I'm not doing that. I'm also not saying that Dooney and Bourke is immune from quality defects, right? I just got this bag and I am going to be exchanging it because this right here on the zipper, I don't know if I can get it to do it now, but in my last video, I was having some issues right here where it was kind of catching. I don't know if you can see that. It's almost like there's a little raised bump or something, and maybe it just needs time to wear in. But yeah, so I love this bag, but I'm not going to say that Dooney & Bourke is perfect. However, I am going to say that they, in general, are known and have a good reputation for having good quality and having pieces that will last a long time. Not only that, but they do have a 1-year warranty. So if something happens to your bag, if you need to have something replaced or fixed, you can send it in to them. They will fix it. I actually did talk to somebody at Dooney & Bourke, and they said the turnaround time is about 2 to 3 weeks. So that's pretty good, especially when you're looking at some of the other luxury companies out there who can quote you months. I've seen even over a year it's taken some people to get their bags back. So yes, certainly Dooney & Bourke is not immune from quality issues. That's why they have a repairs department and everything like that. I don't think any brand, not Hermes, not Dooney, nobody is immune from that. But when you're paying a premium for bags and there are quality issues and the prices of things keep going up, I think that a lot of people are looking for more affordable options that they can be comfortable carrying, right? And so with the mix of us having this Y2K type resurgence, of this nostalgia of these bags coming back in fashion, with the expensive bags, the prices that just keep going up, and the quality of bags going down from other companies, I can see why people are choosing to buy Dooney. And I do think in my opinion, this is my opinion, I do think we're gonna see a trend of these bags going up as far as popularity goes. I do think we're gonna see it. Now, I might have some people in my comments completely disagreeing with me. I probably will. I'll probably have multiple comments saying, that's an ugly bag, that's hideous, why would you buy that? I'll get that, I always do. But I do think they're gaining popularity, I think. And I am going to be interested to sit back and kind of see what happens with Dooney & Bourke over the course of the year. Yeah, I mean, I'm interested to hear what you guys think as well, whether you agree or disagree with me. If you disagree with me, please be kind. Because we don't have to all love the same bags. We don't. We can disagree. We can like different things. We can think some bag brands are better than others. That's fine. We can all have different opinions, but yeah, I think everyone's style is different, and I do think that we're just right now seeing a resurgence of this particular style. And so I am excited to hear your thoughts. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below, and I'll be excited to hear that. But yes, I do think that Dooney & Bourke is gaining popularity, and I do think that the Florentine bag, particular the satchel type of bag style like this one, is making a comeback for 2026, and I think we're going to see this quite a lot. So let me know what you think down below, guys. If you guys like bag chats, chatty type of videos about bags in general and what's going on in the handbag space, please consider liking and subscribing to my channel. These are my favorite topics to discuss, and I am excited to be here and see what you guys all think. Anyways, have a great day, guys. Bye.